Eagle Community Television presents Community Connection with your host, Mike Cooper.
Hello and welcome again to Community Connection from Eagle Community Television. Thanks for watching, and thanks to our producer, Jeff Durall, who probably deserves a timeout right at the beginning so that we kind of, get into this thing in the proper mode. We are at Rarick Hall, second floor, and we're visiting with the Early Childhood Unified, perhaps known as Tiger Tots Nursery Center at Fort Hays State University, with the program director, Natalie Unruh, and the curriculum director, Sara Stroup. And we thank our guests for being with us today as we find out a little bit more about Tiger Tots, as it's known, or as we used to know it anyway, now Early Childhood Unified. So, Natalie, if you would, talk about what Early Childhood Unified means. What's that all about?
At Fort Hays State University, we have a program that is designed for face-to-face as well as virtual students who are interested in licensure birth through grade 3. So we have Part C, which is the very, very young, 0 to 3, ages 3 to 5, which is your typical Head Start classroom, and then, of course, grades kindergarten through 3rd. And the unified component of our program is that special education is integrated into all of our coursework throughout their entire program.
And by licensing, what happens at the end? What does that mean for a student who is participating in the program, Natalie?
Then you can go out with licensure. Our elementary ed program is licensure kindergarten through 6th grade, so licensure in ECU gives you a teaching license up through the 3rd grade.
And this license can be used in any public education venue then?
Absolutely.
Sara, talk a little about the program itself and what you'd like to see accomplished as program director.
Okay. We are making some changes this year, and one of the biggest changes that we have made is implementing a curriculum that is very well known. It's been adopted by many other early childhood fields, and it provides a curriculum that meets the needs of all learning areas of the children, their cognitive needs, their physical needs, their emotional needs, and it also has a very good data collection system that helps us to keep track for our benefits, to make sure we're meeting the needs of the children, and also to report to the family members. And so that is one of the biggest changes that we are making and implementing at this time. Some of the long-term goals that we have for the program is we are going to make it into a lab school so that we can also have not only the faculty and students benefit from having an excellent place for their children to learn and to be throughout the day, but they also we are going to be meeting the needs of the college students because.
So it's a broad program that addresses a lot of different needs of the child. It's not just a learning, whether it's colors or ABCs or whatever. It's a broad curriculum that addresses all the needs of a child.
Absolutely. It's the full range. It's health needs, it's cognitive, it's everything that you mentioned, and then being able to allow the child to self-regulate and be able to learn on their level of learning.
And this is a fairly new adaptation then?
Tiger Tots has always been a daycare center that has been providing excellent care for the children. The difference is going to be there will be data being collected and a curriculum in place that actually follows a direct line of information for the children to track their needs and to track where they are at.
And following up a little bit on that, Natalie, in this data collection and in this process, the staff determined that it was important for the overall benefits to the child then?
Absolutely. One of the things that Sara did not mention too is that we're looking to have a seamless transition to kindergarten, and this curriculum allows us to do this by providing the future teachers of the children with information that will help them provide the best education for them. So parents go in with a little bit more knowledge, and they're able to share that through the data that we have with their kindergarten teacher, which makes it what we want to have, which is a seamless transition.
The program originated in 1981, I believe, right, Natalie? And we've got a couple of veterans here, not only Fort Hays State grads, but veterans as well, which we'll get into here in just a moment. But talk a little bit more, if you would, about meeting the needs of the child. We hear constant information, Natalie, that it is important to begin the learning process very early in a child's life. Talk a bit about that, would you?
I think one of the basic things that we do, and any good early childhood program does this, is that we understand the importance of family. So family comes first. We know that the families are the child's first teachers. We try to get the families involved at all levels and make them feel comfortable. We have daily communication with the family. And I think that that is probably the most important thing that we do for the child. Family engagement is one of the leading, research shows us, indicators of academic success. So we start that now, and hopefully it carries on through.
And Sarah, we find out too that time and again that when the newborn arrives in the family, there's no instruction manual. So any help, any information is certainly valuable, isn't it?
Absolutely. And that is one of the areas of pride that I think that we can take, is that we do have excellent communication with the family. And when they do have questions, not only on the child that we are serving their needs in the classroom, but they may come to us, for instance, having a new baby in the family, and how can we help that child to make sure that they're involved. And we're able to provide resources for them and to be able to provide those activities that would help them.
Tell us a bit, if you would, Sarah, about the end goals that you're trying to accomplish in the curriculum, since you're curriculum director. What do you hope at the end of the child's stay in Tiger Tots or the Early Childhood Unified that they accomplish?
That they will accomplish meeting their potential to the best that they possibly can in an environment that they are comfortable in an environment that has been nurturing. Yeah, that's a great word for the Nurturing Center.
I'm glad I thought of that.
And you are used to doing an interview, and I'm not.
Yeah.
And
so when the blank comes, don't worry about it.
Well, thank you. Definitely, that we are able to nurture them to be able to meet their full potential in an environment that has nurtured them through the physical environment, through the emotional environment, and
a lot to this kid thing, isn't there?
There's a lot more than people think. And then when they come into the classroom, they understand. We had our Halloween party the other day, and the parents were, I don't know how you do this all day long. And, of course, we love it. So.
Well, and we see the youngsters engaged and active and such, but it really takes a dedicated staff to pull this off, doesn't it, Natalie?
Very much so, and we're very lucky. And that's another thing we hadn't really touched on, is that we are able to utilize students who are interested in many things: speech pathology, nursing, early childhood education. They can come in and they can do observations and clinical work through their department, as well as students are able to work and put themselves through college by well, not exactly with our pay, but anyway, supplements to get through college to work at the center. So.
And I would think, Sarah, that this is really a benefit to students as well, because there are a lot of different disciplines that they could then go to once they graduate.
And that is one of the advantages of our program, is we have engagement in the classroom at a very early stage in our program, and they do internships where they go into the different age groups of classrooms and resources in the community, and have activities that they plan and implement, and then reflect upon that through the assignments that we have in our classroom. And I think that is something that has been one of the neatest things this semester for me, is that while teaching college classes, I am now, before I'd been out of the classroom for 6 years. And so now I have my daily interaction with children to keep me very in clue of what is going on. And when I relate that to my students, and they can relate back to their internships of what they are experiencing.
Talk a little, if you would, Natalie, about the history of the program. Beginning in 1981, for example, been a part of Fort Hays State curriculum for a long time.
It has. And Tiger Tots, one of the unique things about it is a student service. We are only open to students, faculty, and staff that attend the technical college or Fort Hays State University. And we feel very strongly that this provides parents the comfort of knowing that their children are well taken care of while they're attending classes. It gives them the freedom to work so that they can support their family throughout the day. So Tiger Tots has been around for a very long time, and I feel like, in a way, we're a little bit of the history of at Fort Hays State, which is a great feeling.
Talk about numbers. How many youngsters participate?
We do follow KDHE licensing regulations, and because of our space, we're allowed to have 24 children between the ages of 2.5 through 5 in the center at any given time.
Waiting list?
Oh, yes. Yes.
No doubt about that. Talk about the benefits to Fort Hays State students who, Natalie touched on the benefits for those who are attending classes or working and such as that. But what about the benefits to the students who are involved in the process of Tiger Tots?
Well, like you mentioned earlier, just being able to follow the discipline, being able to see it modeled, be right there while it is happening. If we were just keeping them in the classroom and teaching them out of a textbook, it would be a textbook model, which some can comprehend, some cannot. And you need that hands-on. You need that time to be able to actually see it being put into action. And
yeah, especially if you're working with young people in interactive situations, human-to-human contact, if you will.
Definitely. So that is, I feel, one of the best benefits is being able to have that hands-on experience, those experiences that provide them to make their mistakes, but yet learn from them, and also accomplish and have that feedback from us.
I told you these two are veterans, and they've got quite a history with Fort Hays State University and with Tiger Tots as well. Natalie, your history first of all.
To tell you the truth, when I started my career in elementary education, I did my internships at Tiger Tots. I did my student teaching at Tiger Tots, and my first job was lead teacher at Tiger Tots. So I have a very long history. And when I came upstairs to teach full-time in faculty, it's the same thing that Sara said. We missed being with the children. So I've been with the children for a long time, and I love it.
Never gets old, does it?
It certainly doesn't. It's wonderful.
And Sara, you've got almost the same history.
Well, Natalie and I started together about 21 years ago while we were both getting our master's degree. And I went into the classroom and did her teaching part while she continued with the director administration duties. And that was our partnership together. And I was there for about a year, and then I went into the school district and taught, and absolutely enjoyed it, and was totally fine with where I was at in the district, and got 3 telephone calls within about a 3-week period asking if I would be willing to interview for a position as faculty in the Early Childhood Unified Program.
We have about a minute left. Could you run through a typical day rather quickly for us? It's structured, first of all, right?
It is
That's
very
an
structured.
important part.
It is very structured. Structure is very good for children. It's good for adults. Knowing what's coming next is very important. So they come in, they have a routine, they take care of their health needs and go in and get ready with hygiene, and then they sit down and do learning activities. Then we'll have a large group play outside. Then we'll come back in and have an educational large group that we go through the goals of whatever we're learning about that week. And then we'll go into small groups, and then the day just continues to unfold. But as you can see, there's structure to it. There is a plan. It's posted. The children have visual schedules so that it reminds them of where we are at. It has a visual reminder of when we have completed a task. That is very good for children to be able to know what is happening now and what's going to be happening.
And finally, Natalie, was Tiger Tots kind of a pioneer program statewide? In other words, was it an initial program, or was there a model that Tiger Tots was developed from across the nation?
That is a great question, and I really think that we designed our program based on the needs of what we knew was researched and evidence-based, but I'd say it's very much, it didn't really follow any particular program.
And it was kind of a pace setter, wasn't it?
I like to think so.
Indeed. And a couple of great examples of how early childhood learning takes place at Fort Hays State University, along with the teaching part of Fort Hays State and the instructional work to the students of Fort Hays State University. Natalie Unruh is the program director. Sara Stroup is the curriculum director of the Early Childhood Unified Tiger Tots Nursery Center, Fort Hays State University. Our community connection. Thanks for watching.